working through the inner struggles of the seeker. Blessings in the love and in the light of our one infinite Creator. Welcome, my sisters and brothers, to another exciting talk. I am Robert, a humble messenger of the Law of One. It is my pleasure to share with you these messages of love and light from the Confederation, brought to us through conscious channeling of LL Research. Thank you. And now, without any further ado, here are those of QO. There was a question with regards to the self-acceptance aspect of this understanding and how it is that the falling away of these fragments might very well lead to a greater ability to accept oneself. We would ask you that you recognize that the intrinsic lack of self-acceptance is a precipitation of the fundamental characteristics of work within third density. Namely, this work does not prescribe a certain degree of easy halfways, but rather it is a path of suffering or apparent suffering, as the experience is chosen to be labeled by the conscious self. The nature of catalyst, therefore, is for those experiences to come about which create a motivation which allows or invites that muse that helps the self to move forward and to make strides towards higher and higher levels of attainment and understanding, towards a greater and greater degree of personality transparency, such that the self becomes as a glimmering mirror that reflects back only that which is the true essence of the one infinite Creator, such that those other selves may then see it. The balanced, self-aware, and self-accepting self is one that has been able to work through these processes, then to analyze, understand, and accept the experiences of the past and distill the love and wisdom contained within them, and to use that as a propellant for the rocket to take off into the ethers, such that the self is no longer encumbered by the gravity of the physical, but can indeed rise higher and higher into the firmament, with the understanding that there is only irreducible simplicity in this essence of creation. The simplicity is that you are the light. The chair that is holding you up as you hear these words is formed of light, as are you. There is only an apparent sense of there being an atomic or molecular structure by virtue of the distortions of this light through the various spiraling movements that then bring about physicality. But in essence, all begins and ends as light. Thus, more and more by defragmenting the self, by working through those aspects of personality that have remained compartmentalized from conscious awareness, there comes an ability to supersede those feelings of being frustrated by virtue of the understanding that all of your life experiences have been created only for your own evolution in understanding. Therefore, you cannot continue to indulge in victimhood. Once you have seen past the illusion, you see that there was not any experience fostered upon you other than that which you, by your own discretion, created for your greater evolution and path. We ask on this day that you recognize that the brain is but a biocomputer, that the true center of function that you have exists outside time and space, outside of anything within your body, that at this time there is a mind being created as you listen to these words, with all others who would seek to find that oneness. And therefore you can never be alone. You can never be outside of this oneness. There is no differentiation save for that which is consciously elected to be chosen by the higher self, as it then exhibits its tendencies towards producing catalysts that will allow the physical self to rise towards higher and higher levels of manifestation and acts of greatness. Not acts of greatness measured in your physical terms, but rather the greatness that can be found in simply being able to let go of the repetitive behavioral pattern that has not been in the highest and best good of all involved, by being able to focus one's efforts towards the greatest good and recognizing how it is that, by clapping the hands together in appreciation for oneself and being able to self-accept, that there is an everlasting wellspring that is created within the self, and that the chalice of divine self-preservation and self-transformation can be dipped into this sacred water, that you can then imbibe these waters of life for yourself and experience that divine communion with the one infinite creator. It does then allow you to supersede those distinctions of right and wrong, of good and bad, of positive and negative, to recognize that all experiences that have transpired in your life, whether you felt alienated, isolated, alone, victimized, or abused, are all emanating from that essence which does have the destroyer aspect, or Shiva, as well as that positive, constructive aspect. It does then form the framework through which you can arise to higher and higher levels of manifestation. In its season of acknowledgement of the birth of the spirit within flesh, it has long been our feeling that each within this circle of seeking represents, as the one known as H has said, the Creator itself, in the aspect not of the Creator Father, but of the child of the Creator, the daughter of the Creator, the Son of the Creator, the Christ of the Creator, that which is in the world, that which has come among us in each of you. The heart awaits the birth of your own spiritual self, realized for the first time as a being of integrity, eternity, and infinity, that you cradle within the manger of your heart. This seed, this child must be protected, loved, cared for, nurtured, encouraged, and paid attention to. In this Christ child dwells all of those things which the one known as David's guidance system was describing as that house of cards, which is the built up of accreted crystallization of pain. Once one crystal is dissolved, it is easier to collapse the rest of those crystals, which becomes as the ice that melts into the water or the card that collapses the space between them. In this presentation, the one known as Jesus was brought as an infant 40 days old to the temple to be given to the Creator, as is the custom of this particular entity's culture. Each of you is an infant. You are at the temple. You have been given to the Creator by that parent, which is your physical self. And we say to you, Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, according to thy word, for mine eyes have seen thy salvation. Behold the self as it is, an outer defense system of clay, bone, flesh, and blood, an inner network of feeling, and within that feeling, an inner network of truth, and within that truth, an inner network of the one infinite Creator. May you rest in that tabernacle whenever there is suffering within your life, and may you rock the child within. Protect that spiritual self with your love, with your compassion, with your acceptance of the suffering that is going on, placing it all within the loving arms of that presence that rests within the tabernacle of the heart.